Hello buddy and welcome, I'm Comodin Cam, and today we're going to be ranking every TRYPTICON design from worst to best. Throughout 40 years, TRYPTICON has remained as a Godzilla-like transformer, and we love him for it, so let's rank every single one. Now for the first tier, it of course had to be...
TRYPTICON cannot be stopped! Nothing can stand in my way!
Now for the second tier...
Trace the problem to its source and fix it!
Do not tamper with my systems. This will be your only warning.
Warning!
Now for the third tier...
I will grind you into dust for this, Autobots!
And now finally, for the worst tier...
Sound Blaster, as team leader, you bear the primary responsibility for this failure. You are fired! And the rest of you are also fired.
First up is of course Generation 1, released in the third year of the Transformers. This city-sized dinosaur transformer is just one hell of a toy to have. I can imagine kids just having so much fun, of course, with its city mode and its dinosaur mode. There's so many features, being able to transform into 3 modes. It's just so cool. And yes, I know it's obviously an homage to Godzilla, but heck, you know, I think Godzilla as a transformer works really well, and that's why we love TRYPTICON. Why we have loved him for 40 years. Well, not me, I'm 27, but still, for those who have been there from the very beginning, yeah, he is still today having toys released in the Transformers line. For example, with the Titans Return toy, released in 2017. Such a great upgrade to that original G1 toy. Really nice and obviously massive than the original. And even with the recent recolor for the Generation Selects Age of the Primes G1 TRYPTICON, it's still getting released today. That's how big it is. I don't think we're going to get a brand new TRYPTICON toy in a very long time because that Titans Return one was so good. But if I had to pick my favorite out of the two, it would be the Age of the Primes because it's more Generation 1 accurate to those colors. Now after the original G1 cartoon, in one of the Japanese sequel series, Zone, TRYPTICON did briefly appear as one of the generals going up against the Autobot Power Masters. And I'm glad that they took a different approach and made him more like a bull instead of a dinosaur. Still retaining those aspects of that original G1 design, I do like this revamp, even though in some areas it's a little bit off-putting, but gotta give him credit, it's the most different TRYPTICON has ever looked really. Now, unfortunately, until the Titans Return toy in 2017, there weren't a lot of good TRYPTICON toys besides from that original G1. We did get the 2006 classics, but that's just a redeco of Legends of Cybertron Scourge, and yeah, this is just a poor, lame attempt with the TRYPTICON colours. I can see what they're going with, but yeah, this is just not TRYPTICON at all. And to make it even more painful, in 2009, we had the device-labelled TRYPTICON. If you ever wanted him as a mouse, that was your time to get him. At least the 2014 Creo made an attempt, but this just reminds me of Barney. And sadly, in some continuities, TRYPTICON has just remained as a city, which is fine because all of these cities look really cool, like in the Bayverse. I actually really like the look of this city, looks really cool, wish we could have seen it on screen, but still, regardless, pretty neat. And the same goes for Transformers Animated. I always wanted to know what TRYPTICON would have looked like in the animated style, and while there's been some great fan arts over the years, all we've had to contend with really is this Transformers Animated base. I really do like this. This looks very cool, very in line to the animated aesthetic. I just wish that it could transform and we could see what TRYPTICON would have looked like. Alright, next up is the online continuity, and one of my favourite TRYPTICONs of all time is the one in War for Cybertron, because, well, this was the TRYPTICON I grew up with. I played this game so much, and I defeated this boss fight so much. I love this design. I am hoping one day I will get the Planet X TRYPTICON toy. Here's hoping they release a metallic version, because this is just absolutely badass, incredible. I love it. Seeing it in the CGI trailers and then also the cutscenes in the game, just an awesome moment watching him transform from his space station into his robot mode. Just one of the best moments of the game, really. A main highlight, and him going up against Omega Supreme in the trailer, just damn, I just wish we got that in the actual game itself. Now, if you played Fall of Cybertron, you would know Megatron converted TRYPTICON's remains into the Nemesis, and with Prime being connected to those games, well, this Nemesis ship throughout the entire show is TRYPTICON. And when the ship's power core systems gets infused with dark energon in Season 2's Fly in Mind, the ship comes to life and attempts to take charge of its own destiny. It's a shame we can't actually see TRYPTICON's form because while he is permanently stuck in stasis lock, we did get a brief glimpse of what his robot mode looks like in the Prime style in the Art of Prime book, and this just looks amazing. This works so well with the Prime style. It's just a shame we never got to see it in animation. It would have been so cool if the ship transformed at the end of Season 2 and TRYPTICON was the one that destroyed the Autobot base and not that canon. But still, in another timeline, you know, but this is so cool. I like it, and it's fantastic. Very connecting as well to the War for Cybertron design. Now, the last time we saw TRYPTICON was in Cyberverse as a boss. Quite literally, he was in charge of the mercenary faction, and it was just nice to hear TRYPTICON talk in a very sophisticated manner. Of course, he's usually known for being slow and very kind of dim-witted in many ways, but he's actually smart and sophisticated in this series, and Cyberverse had to do something different. And you know what? This was fun. This was fun to see TRYPTICON talking smart for once, and I like the design. The design is just so remnant of G1, but they add so much more to it, of course with the mercenary faction in the middle. I like this sort of modern take of the G1 design, and to be in many ways it looks kind of better to me. I really do like this animation and style. But yeah, I wonder where TRYPTICON will appear next. Now let's talk about some fan art, because I want to celebrate all the great fan art out there. And first up, we have Egg Boy. And I really do like this design. This is a really cool one. I like the posture on this one. I like the scale as well. Of course, TRYPTICON is known for being a big character, but I just love how massive those missile rocket launchers look on the side of his shoulders and how large his tail is. Yeah, this is fantastic. And next up, we have Empanda Dart's design. And I really dig the shoulder cannons on this. I like as well that you've shown the Nemesis mode as well as the alt mode. Yeah, this is a really good design, a really powerful looking TRYPTICON without a doubt. Now next up we have Flaming Minx, and this is kind of like how I imagine Transformers animated TRYPTICON looking like it just carries that animated aesthetic so well, and I love the whole background of this as well with the smoke. This is like a very powerful TRYPTICON. I can just honestly imagine Transformers animated TRYPTICON looking just like this. Now next up we have God of Creating, and oh my god, this guy is bulk. He is massive. As you command Lord Megatron, readjusting alignment and infiltrating bombardment of Iacon. Yeah, this is a TRYPTICON that can do some damage. Like, you just look at him and he is ready for battle. This is such a good tribute to that original War for Cybertron design, and just look how tiny those humans are. Alright, next up we have Someone to Draw, and wow, I love those yellow patterns all over the body. This is really cool. Of course, we know his alt mode here is prison mode, but I love the yellow all over this. This isn't outright purple. This is kind of like a browny, sort of greeny, sort of yellow kind of color we got going off here. He has an energy absorption. TRYPTICON can absorb the sparks of prisoners inside the giant holding cells on his back. Using this energy can expel powerful energy attacks at the cost of prisoners' lives. Yeah, I can imagine that. Last up, we have Romanian Revert, and he has done a very different take on TRYPTICON. He has combined Star Wars and Transformers. He's well known for doing that. He combines a lot of Star Wars elements into Transformers, and we can see his inspiration here. And you know what? He's done a fantastic job of converting this Star Destroyer into TRYPTICON. I can imagine it. Hasbro, take notes here, because this looks really cool. I like how the entire shield is covering on the back and all of those circles on the front as thrusters. That's really cool. This is a great combination of both worlds. And there we have it, guys. Every TRYPTICON design ranked from worst to best. If I had to pick my all-time favourite, it of course has to go to that Hyman Studios design. But of course, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as to keep updated on all ranking videos, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell to get all updates instantly. Until the next video, I've been Comodin Cam, and goodbye.